Hello, thanks for joining us. This is Nationwide. I'm Ruth Aguele. President Bola Tinubu has launched the 2024 Armed Forces Remembrance Day and Celebrations Emblem Appeal Fund. At the event in the State House, President Tinubu promises his administration's commitment towards rewarding the sacrifices for the peace, security and togetherness of Nigeria by the armed forces, including the living and the fallen heroes. We'll bring you that report in subsequent bulletin. President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of 2 new chief executive officers in parastatals and agencies under the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, in line with the recommendations of the Minister Adeboyega Oyetola. They include Managing Director, CEO, National Inland Waterways Authority, NIWA, Muruddin Bola Oyebamiji, Executive Secretary, CEO, Nigerian Shippers Council, Akuta Pius Ukeyima. Muruddin Bola Oyebamiji is a graduate of Banking and Finance and holds a master's degree in Public Administration and Business Administration. He is an economist with industry experience of more than 28 years before entering the public service. He reserved the downward trajectory of Osun State Investment Company Limited before serving as the Osun State Commissioner of Finance for 8 years. On the other hand, Akuta Ukeyima is a graduate of law and holds a master's degree in public international law from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. He most recently served as the head of Central Authority Units International Cooperation in Criminal Matters, Office of the Attorney General of the Federation. President Bola Tinubu tasked the new appointees in this vital sector to faithfully implement policies and programs of the ministry in pursuit of the expeditious and efficient attainment of bolstered revenues and investments as part of the Renewed Hope Agenda's Blue Economy strategy. Nigeria, we hear, is wooing foreign investors in the agricultural sector, assuring them that the country is ready for agribusiness by exploring innovative strategies to transform the quest for food security. Vice President Kashim Shettima stated this in Iowa, United States, during the 2023 Norman Borlaug International Dialogue. We'll bring you full details in subsequent bulletin. With on to the legislative affairs, Senate is set to amend some sections of the Act establishing the Central Bank of Nigeria to further strengthen its role of financial stability for economic development. 2 bills to that effect have passed second reading. One of the bills, sponsored by Minority Whip Senator Darlington Nwokocha, seeks to, among others, allow for the separation of office of the head of management of the CBN from that of the governing board. And the second bill, sponsored by Senator Sunday Karimi, seeks to ensure that the Apex Bank is more transparent and accountable in its operations. You have full details, that also in subsequent bulletin. Still on the legislature, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has called for expansion of parliamentary relations between Nigeria's National Assembly and the Chinese People's Parliament. The Speaker stated this when he received a delegation led by Chinese Ambassador to Nigeria, Chu Jianchun, on a courtesy visit at the National Assembly. He said more than 5 decades of diplomatic relations between Nigeria and China, it has produced many outcomes of mutual benefits for both countries, while calling for improved parliamentary ties.
There are so many places that China and Nigeria have not touched before, and there are places that you have told that we can do better. We are looking forward to such kind of partnership, mutual partnership, that will end up in being winners all. For China to win and Nigeria also to win.
I hope next year from parliament level, I welcome you to go to China to talk to your counterpart and to set a new tone for the 2 parliaments. And I do believe that it's very, very important for the 2 parliaments to work together, to do things together, because Nigeria and China, we are big countries.
Chinese ambassador is hopeful that more collaboration between both parliaments will further cement the existing diplomatic ties between Nigeria and China. A collaboration that will see to the empowerment of more youth in Nigeria is being worked out between the pet project of Nigeria's First Lady, Renewed Hope Initiative, and the Federal Ministry of Youth Development. Minister of Youth Development, Jamila Ibrahim, dropped the hint of this collaboration during a courtesy call on the First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, at the villa. The visit is coming barely 3 weeks after her confirmation by the Senate as the first female Minister of Youth Development in Nigeria. Commending her guest for hitting the ground running, the First Lady says she is eager to work with the ministry where necessary to improve the lot of Nigerian youths. Reflecting on social investment program of the Renewed Hope Initiative, the First Lady says it will soon reach out again to improve the lot of many vulnerable groups in the country.
Empowerment for a group of widows, for the fallen heroes. So we've already started compiling our list, and then we started working with the bank for grants for them. So after we do that, we're going to now go into agriculture proper. But for youth development, we're still trying to see what areas we can come in. So we've started with ICT training, which is part of that.
At this critical time when Nigerian youths are eager to explore and maximize their potential, the minister believes the experience of the First Lady and the templates offered by her pet project will help to serve the cause of youth development in the country, in line with President Bola Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda.
She has expressed enthusiasm and interest in carrying the young people along and giving us the necessary support, both morally and in any other way that we require her support as a mother of the nation.
The First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, has congratulated former First Lady Dame Patience Jonathan as she celebrates her birthday. The First Lady in the message felicitates with the former First Lady and prays God to grant her good health, joy and long life. Mrs. Oluremi Tinubu wishes her more peaceful years filled with love, laughter and joy. The federal government has commenced the implementation of the Integrated Personnel and Payroll Information System, IPPIS, with a view to attaining transparency, accuracy, safety and reliability in the management of personnel records, while also curtailing avoidable excesses in personnel costs driven by the government's quest to curb ghost workers syndrome and block leakages through personnel cost. A statement by the Commission said leveraging on technology, the office opened a verification portal in April 2017 and directed all public servants to carry out outline update of their records. Having committed substantial financial and human resources over a period of 7 years to verify the records, all civil servants on the IPPIS platform, the office was left with no option than to suspend the salaries of those who failed to participate in the exercise with effect from September 2023. Consequent upon this, some of the erring officers besieged the office of the OHCSF with pleas to be given the last opportunity to comply. The portal was therefore magnanimously reopened from October 3rd from 3rd to 13th, 2023 for them to update their records. Now, the officers were then asked to come to Abuja for the physical verification exercise as the office had already committed and exhausted the budgeted funds and unable to further deploy staff to the states for the exercise. Adequate arrangements were put in place for a smooth exercise in designated areas of the FCT. However, the officers' impatience and lack of orderliness in the first 2 days make the exercise rowdy. Now, this has been duly addressed, and the 2 weeks exercise scheduled to end on Friday, October 27, 2023, is progressing very well, we hear. As the Independent National Electoral Commission conducts first ever off-cycle governorship election in Imo State, that is coming on November 11, 2023, the electorate in the state is not leaving anything to chance in preparation to exercise their franchise in the historic election that will decide the direction the state will go in the next 4 years. Kate Osonwa is standing by for information on that, on how Imo electorates are seriously preparing for the governorship polls. But before we join her, we'll bring you this background report.
Long-awaited off-season governorship election expected to hold in Bayelsa in Kogi states has continued to generate conversations among Nigerians, especially those from the affected states. For those in Imo State, particularly the political parties, vigorous campaigns have been on to woo potential voters as they are focusing their message to the people on what they stand to gain if voted into power. On the part of INEC, town hall meetings, enlightenment campaigns and voter education have been taken to various local government areas, while mock accreditation has been held to test the functionality of the beavers preparatory to the November 11 governorship elections. Inowere, Kate Osunwa, NTA News.
All right, let's join our correspondent Kate Osonwa, who is standing by in Owerri. She has an update on how political parties are preparing for the 11th November governorship election. But Kate, tell us how our campaign's going on.
Okay, thank you for joining me. I earlier spoke to Charles Mbenkonye, a legal practitioner who spoke on how political parties are preparing for November 11 governorship election in the states.
They are prepared for 11th November. Despite the restriction of putting billboards or paying 54 million like they allege that they told them to pay, those that could not afford to pay are still working hard, going street to street, markets, making sure that they canvass people to come out on 11th November to vote for them. So they are all ready for election, even including the incumbent governor. We can see going out every day, canvassing, campaigning for people to vote for him, again, for his second bid. So we believe that all the parties are ready. They are very, very ready for November 11. Only that if INEC is ready, all the parties are ready in Imo State. In terms of citizens preparing to vote on that day, there is no discrimination. When you look at the Constitution, it's very clear. Section 42, make it that wherever where you are, either Muslim, Yoruba, Igbo, as I say in Imo State, you are free to vote, and all of them are ready and prepared to vote. Because the law is very clear under section 77 and 117 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. It says as long as you have attained the age of 18 years, you are free to vote. And everybody, even when you go out and interview people, they will tell that they are ready. People are ready to vote. The question is INEC ready to conduct a free and fair election in Imo State? If they are ready to do that, I'm telling you, they are going to be a very good election in Imo State.
Okay, as you can see, the campaigns are still ongoing and people are concentrating on issue-based campaigns. People are also hopeful that election come November 11 in Imo State will be free, fair and credible. It's back to the studios.
Good afternoon and welcome to Sokoto on Nationwide. More cases before the Election Petition Tribunal for the 25th March Presidential and National Assembly elections sitting in Sokoto have been determined. The tribunal is being manned by Justices Jolis Esther, Dennis Modu Echesi and Justice Emmanuel Uboa. Zainab Saidu Abdul Nasir reports.
It was the APC candidate Ibrahim Abdullahi Dambaba that approached the tribunal, challenging the declaration of PDP candidate Amin Waziri Tabwal as winner of the Sokoto South Senatorial District election. The petitioner alleged that the election was characterized by violence, destruction, manipulation of election results, corruption and prevention of voters from exercising their civic rights. The presiding judge, while analyzing the petition based on its merit, said the petitioner has failed to provide cogent and credible reasons to prove his case and dismissed the petition. Also dismissed is the petition filed by Dr. Balarabe Shehu Kakali of PDP, challenging the qualification of Nasiru Shehu Bodinga of APC to contest the Dangeshuni, Bodinga and Tureta federal constituency seat. It was dismissed because the petitioner could not provide credible evidence to support his case. The tribunal also declared the election of Umar Yusuf Yabo of Yabo Shagari federal constituency inconclusive, ordering INEC to conduct election in 26 polling units within 90 days. One of the witnesses and the returning officer for the February 25th Presidential and National Assembly election, Professor Sambo Abubakar Junaidu, said his declaration of Umar Yusuf Yabo as the winner of the election was under duress. The petition, filed by Aliyu Salihu Ilela of PDP against Bello Isa Ambarura of APC for Gwadaba Ilela, and that of Murtala Bello Megona of PDP against Abdullah Kalambaina of APC for Kwarewa Mako federal constituencies were also dismissed. In Sokoto, Zainab Said Abdul Nasser, NTA News.
Following the swift response by security operatives in rescuing kidnapped victims in Kanzanna forest of Bunza local government area, the Kebbi state government has assured continued support to security agencies in the state. Commissioner for Information and Culture, Yakubu Ahmad Birnin Kebbi, spoke to NTA News on the efforts of the state government. Correspondent Abdul Jalil Muhammad Bawa reports.
On the 18th of October 2023, gunmen stormed Kanzanna village in Bunza local government area of Kebbi State, killing 3 people and kidnapping others. Within a week of the incident, security operatives with efforts by the state government rescued 3 people and neutralized 1 suspect, while several escaped with bullet wounds following an attack launched by troops against the bandits. State Commissioner for Information and Culture, Yakubu Ahmad Birnin Kebbi, says state government will continue making effort to safeguard lives and property of the people of Kebbi State.
Our governor came up with other policies that helped in encouraging security personnel on the battlefield to feel comforted, to feel well taken care of, and as a result, they give in their best.
Some residents in Birnin Kebbi commended the state government effort in supporting security personnel to execute joint operation in the state.
To say kudos to those security operatives in Kebbi State and the effort of the state government in collaboration with the state government. They have done well, excellently well.
It's well commendable. It is an effort of the security agencies in support of the present administration.
The joint operation by security operatives in the state is also taking place in other parts of the state, experiencing banditry and kidnapping. In Birnin Kebbi, Abdul Jalil Muhammad Bawa, NTA News.
And a quick reminder that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and all other social media handles displayed on your screens for updates. It's now back to Abuja for the continuation of the news.
Thank you very much, Asmao. With efforts by the federal government to explore digital economy to create more jobs for the teeming youth, experts in information and communication technology have called on the government to ensure adequate protection for local businesses. The experts expressed these views as they examine the gains of digital economy. Let's hear from Larry Belay.
Digital economy involves economic ventures requiring skills and sales of goods and services to meet specific demands using the internet. One of the renewed Hope Action Plan of President Bola Tinubu is digital economy, with the aim of harnessing the nation's youthful population and ensuring they are gainfully employed.
Before, the only way you could watch this interview is to have a TV, right? But today you can upload this video on YouTube and people would watch it, right? Now you uploading it on YouTube, you start having numbers of followers, right? The more followers you have, the more you might be able to generate some income, right? So that is, digital economy.
With federal government's commitment to making the sector one of its focal points, what expansion possibilities would it have for those already exploring it?
It will expand the opportunity of exports, and in which Nigeria will be in line as a country like US, Indians, who are actually taking the opportunity of digital economy to move their youth forward.
So what you notice is that more employment is created because of the ease of doing business.
Collection, analysis, and use of information to deliver goods and services to clients will require some technical know-how and training. ICT experts are urging federal governments to invest in mitigating attendant issues associated with digital economy, such as protection of confidential data of persons doing businesses online, cybersecurity to check activities of fraudsters, and environmental concerns. In Lagos, Larry Bilayi.
Following the signing of the Electricity Act 2023 into law by President Tinubu in June this year, the Nigeria Governors Forum, UK government and donor agencies are strategizing on how to navigate challenges of the Act to empower states to generate, transmit and distribute electricity. Elizabeth Omori reports.
To address electricity deficit in the country, state governments are set to leverage opportunities of the Electricity Act 2023, and this roundtable seeks to provide frameworks for states to explore benefits. The NGF, UK NIAF, and the UK International Development are strategizing to design pathways for state governments to accelerate energy access to citizens as envisaged in the new Act.
Our task, therefore, is to facilitate the simplifying of this very complex and highly technical endeavor in a way that both the government and the governed will fully appreciate what is happening, how it should happen, and the benefits of it all.
UK NIAF's role is in providing technical advice where we feel that there is political will, a strong plan.
This move, the British Deputy High Commissioner to Nigeria says, is a commitment by Nigeria at COP26 to effectively drive the future of her power sector.
Nigeria's prosperity depends on getting the power sector right.
Metering DISCO's contributions, lack of modern transmission lines and equipment, as well as legal implications, were part of issues raised for consideration. The two-day roundtable is expected to draw up recommendations to drive the ambition for sustainable energy access by all the 36 states of the Federation. Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
A group on the platform of the governing All Progressives Congress, known as Progressives League of APC Youth Voters, have appealed to Ganduje-led National Working Committee and President Tinubu to broker peace in the wrangling between heavyweights in the state. The group says the recent rift between the Minister of State Labour Nkiruka Onyeji-Ocha, who just won her case at the tribunal to represent Isukuato and Umenochi Federal Constituency, and Deputy Speaker House of Representatives Benjamin Kalu. The group says the development, which has taken a strange dimension, requires immediate reconciliation or may be capable of weakening the structures of the party in Abia State, and advised all parties to ensure party supremacy prevails.
Openly castigating a committed party flag bearer who has given her all to ensure the victory of our party in the last general elections. As members of the APC family, we are ever ready to address issues that will strengthen our party and position it for national development.
Commended the Minister of State Labour for her contributions to the party, which brought about the success of APC in Abia in the last presidential election, and urged all to rally round her in ensuring she reclaim her mandate at the appeal court. Building the right culture and environment supportive of future elections is a vital step towards deepening the nation's democracy. This was the common position of stakeholders at an electoral reform roundtable in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports.
And what lessons we can learn from what didn't go well.
The 2023 general elections have come and gone,
But there are lessons to be learned from the exercise. Yaga Africa and the Kofi Annan Foundation convened critical stakeholders here to draw out what they described as big lessons. They are also to come up with recommendations that will contribute in reforming electoral processes going forward.
We've seen that both the law and the guidelines issued by INEC have some inconsistencies, and there is need to strengthen the law.
So the organization structure we have today for elections is not efficient enough. If you look at the size of this country, so we can be doing elections over and over and over again, but there are concrete issues that we need to begin to address, to begin to confront beyond elections.
The civil society organizations believe that there was an urgent need for a wake-up call on their own part. Improving elections can be better achieved by reforming the legislative framework that defines Nigeria's elections, the roundtable emphasized.
The civil society in Nigeria will need to examine itself. We need a re-strategizing, because we trusted at one point too much.
The system needs to be rejigged and looked into from the beginning of the process, not at the end or the middle of the process.
The election management body, INEC, pledged that the Commission will work on recommendations that will be made available to improve on the reform on the electoral processes. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Within 1 week of assumption of office, the new helmsman of the Corporate Affairs Commission, Hussaini Magaji, and his team have burst the cartel operating within the Federal Capital Territory, issuing fake land and official documents to unsuspecting Nigerians. Elizabeth Omori reports on deliberations on the arrest.
With the renewed hope agenda of the Tinubu administration, the Corporate Affairs Commission says it will no longer be business as usual for unscrupulous business owners and fake professionals, as sharp practices will no longer be tolerated within the Nigerian business space. 189 fake companies used to secure land documents within the FCT were uncovered.
We found that these companies that are not even in existence. With the collaboration of security agents, we arrested a suspect.
The lead suspect has been arrested, and others in connection with the dubious act are currently being trailed. Other issues raised at the meeting include signposting and proper registration of companies. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
We head to Benin now. We join Udwak Obang. She will pick up from there. Udwak.
Hello, Ruth. Welcome to Benin. Some residents of Ikoba Hill and Ikunero area of Benin have barricaded some sections of Benin-Agbo Road bypass to protest government's neglect of the federal road, which they say has become a death trap. Jude Abugu brings us situation report.
The protesters who placed obstacles to halt vehicular movement on the dilapidated road said they resorted to barricading the road to draw the attention of the state and federal government to the plight of residents and motorists who use the federal road.
The road is too bad, from bypass to Ikwen to depot.
If you look at my bumper, I don't spoil the motor everywhere because of the bad road.
They expressed concern that government appears to be ignoring all the calls for urgent repairs to be done on the failed portions of the road. One of the major reasons why these residents of Ikwenero area are taking this action is because vehicles can no longer access to their areas to take them to the heart of the city due to the deplorable condition of the road.
This must become a trial from Ikwe, come here, may I look at 2 years old baby.
This morning, a woman delivered down there just because of the bad road, rushing to hospital. So we are suffering.
The government has directed that all the roads in Edo states and across the country should be made passable for road users. This rainy season, there is no palliative that can be done that will stand the test of time.
The Benin-Agbo Road bypass is the major entry point for motorists coming from the southeast to Benin City.
It also serves hundreds of residents living on the outskirts of the city. In Benin, Jude Abugu, NTA News.
For Nigerian youth not to be influenced by negative consequences from other culture, all hands must be on deck to make positive aspects of culture change agents. This was the fallout of the 8th annual Cultural Orientation and Sensitization Program for secondary school students by the National Institute of Cultural Orientation, Edo State. Eugenia Dubisi reports.
Stakeholders say culture cannot be used as change agents if the people are looking at cultures with disdain, showing disrespect towards the cultural values to, however, reawakening the nation's rich sociocultural heritage in order for the younger generation to grow with it. The National Institute of Cultural Orientation, at its 8th annual Cultural Orientation Program, gathered students from 10 senior secondary schools in Oredo local government area of Edo State as part of efforts to revive the lost cultural values.
And I believe that at the end of this very program, every one of you will cherish the culture more than before.
Agree with me that over time we've lost touch with our history, and now try to reawaken our history is a good call. It's a clarion call that everybody must have to embrace.
Participating students and teachers say such program will further encourage the youth to appreciate their culture.
This will help to eradicate those vices and refocus, redirect our children.
The organization is helping us to recall back what is happening in the 90s so that we'll be able to know what is happening and be able to adapt to our culture.
The theme for the program is Culture, Consciousness and the Nigerian Child. In Benin, Eugenia Dubisi, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Benin. Is back to Abuja for continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you, Duak Obang. Jigawa's state government is poised towards alleviating poverty and unemployment among the citizenry, with provision of startup capital to support entrepreneurship development, particularly among women and youths in the state. Ibrahim Sani, who witnessed one of such efforts of that initiative, says this is among the state governor's 12 points agenda.
Rahama Suleiman and Aisha Aliu are among the several women in Jigawa State who struggle to make a living out of the petty trading, among other things they legally pursue to make a living. Their effort, however, never saw the light of the day. This is as a result of unique entrepreneurial challenge due to lack of enough capital to sustain and expand their business. The recent disbursement of 50,000 naira to 1,000 women each by the Jigawa State government will certainly promote women economic potentialities in business, ameliorate poverty, and promote self-reliance.
This is not money that they can use just to go for ceremonial activities or for the ashobe thing that women are normally known to. They should use this money by adding it to their capital, of the small capital that they already have, so that they can enhance their businesses and widen the scope of where they can reach doing their businesses. Therefore, they can get more profit, they can be able to do more businesses, and the capital will keep moving ahead and greater and greater and greater.
So, made mention of a policy statement that apart from this 1,000, another 5,000 women are going to benefit. Actually, when you come to Jigawa in 2 to 3 years and make a survey, you will see the economic differences among women of Jigawa.
It is also hoped that the program, which is among the 12-point agenda of Governor Umar Namadi's administration, will change the women economic narrative, bolster their savings, increase the probability of opening new businesses, and promote capital investment of the women folk, among other opportunities. In Dutse, Ibrahim Sani, NTA News.
And still staying in Dutse, we join our correspondent now, Hawa. She's standing by. She wants to tell us more on ways of achieving this noble vision by the state government. Please, Hawa, go ahead.
Thank you, Ruth. Good evening. As you have seen in that report, in the couple of months that this government is in place, over 10,000 people have said to benefit from these empowerment programs. which the gesture is making or have made a tremendous improvement in the socio-economic development of the state. The program is inclusive because both youth, women, men, and even people with disabilities were included in the empowerment programs. Earlier on, I have spoken to the Director, Women Affairs, Hajia Adama Umar Zandam, who shed more light on the empowerment programs. Director, Women Affairs, and you have been part of this empowerment program in the state. What is your general assessment?
My general assessment is that government has done a lot for women, youth, and even people with disability in the state, because government empowered a lot of youth, women, and these people with disability. Especially, our government trained them. They train about 542 youth in different skills, especially in the area of barbing, POS, carpentry, and others. And in the area of women, government train them on the how to do goat breeding, revolving, because government provides them with each woman with three goats. After 6 months, they will retrieve the small goats and give it to another woman. And then in the area of empowerment, government empowered 1,000 women previously. Government provides them with grant of 50,000 to boost their business in the state.
Okay. During the campaign, in the campaign promises, Governor Umar Namadi promised to carry women along in his administration. Is he doing enough for women?
Yes, of course. Government is doing a lot for women, because His Excellency promised that after empowering 1,000 women, he will add another woman to 5,000 women next empowerment. And then there is a program of JKs. This JKs, we are going to give them a grant of 50,000 after giving them an entrepreneurial training for different skills or trades in the state.
So what are your next plans? That was the Director, Women Affairs, Hajia Adama Umar Zandam, who gave us an update on the empowerment programs in Jigawa State. Over to you, Ruth, for the continuation of Nationwide. Good evening.
Good evening, Hawa. Thank you so much for that update. Good to see that women and youths are being carried along in the state. Advocates on gender inclusion across Africa are meeting at Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, to advocate the enforcement of human rights instruments that will create equal access to opportunities and strengthen legislations for the prioritization of issues concerning women and girl child in the region. Minister of Women and Social Affairs and other speakers at the conference commended different steps taken by African leaders on women's rights. They also called for enhanced unity, support and cooperation for accelerated development.
Priorities for African women in other countries as well. And collectively, we need to scale up initiatives within the framework of the African continental free trade to ensure that women fully benefit from continental economic development.
The long-term goal of the AWC Leadership Development Center is to ensure that women are empowered with necessary skills, knowledge, and resources to become leaders and change makers in their respective communities.
The Addis Ababa 2023, which is the 7th in the series, has as its theme reviewing the economic, social and political inclusion of women and girls in Africa's development agenda. Some of the delegates spoke on how the engagement will birth productive partnerships and gender policy.
Thematic areas in the speech that are going to be assigned and that are going to be discussed in this platform will give us an insight.
This kind of getting together, especially bringing the women from all over Africa, is a success. And I look at that as success because they are inspiring each other.
This year's Africa Women Conference is an initiative of Helpline Foundation for the Needy, a Nigerian-based non-governmental organization and partners. The Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs has signed a contract on a performance management system to meet public expectations on service delivery and good governance. Kenneth Inanim will tell us more.
Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs has a clear-cut mandate, aligning with the federal government's agenda to deliver good governance to Nigerians. The personnel have set targets that they have to pursue diligently while upholding the values of integrity and excellence. Having signed the contract of performance management system, the permanent secretary, Ibiene Roberts, urged the staff of the ministry not to lower their guards.
I am confident that this performance contract will serve as a testament to our commitment to public service excellence. I want to encourage each member of our departments to embrace this opportunity, work collectively to fulfill our obligations and responsibilities.
Meanwhile, collaboration amongst the departments of the ministry was identified as key to achieving the desired success. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Right, let's get to Maiduguri to join Abubakar. He has some reports for us.
See you actually, Ruth, and thank you for joining us. Borno State Government has issued condolence letters and ₦1 million each to the next of kin of 5 National Youth Service Corps members who died while on service in the state. Fatima Isa has more on the story.
This is a sober moment as next of kin of each of the 5 National Youth Corps members lost while on national service in Borno State are convened here for interface with Borno State government. Governor Babagana Umar Zulum was represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Tijani Abubakar.
We commemorate with you. We also share the same grief as you are feeling right from the time the announcement of their demise was made to the families.
The Borno State government has taken this unprecedented approach to co-welfare, even in death.
Some of the family members of the deceased appreciated the gesture of Borno State government, especially the show of empathy over their losses.
I want to thank God for giving him the strength to do what he has done.
If you're still wondering what kept on attracting Nigerians, especially those from across River Niger to Borno State, fondly called Home of Peace, the recent gesture by the government to the next of kings of the 5 fallen corps members serving in the state is certainly one out of many reasons. In Maiduguri, Fatima Isa, NTA News.
Away from that now to tell you that worried by the spate of human trafficking incidences, the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, Yobe State Command has inaugurated a task force team to combat the menace. Yunusa Suleiman reports that the committee members were drawn from various security agencies and 20 organizations, including religious and traditional institutions, who agreed in principle to enhance information sharing and exchange to curtail cases of trafficking in persons and other forms of human exploitation.
NAPTIP, Yobe State Command, has in 2022 tackled several cases centered around labor and sex exploitations while over 6 cases were successfully prosecuted by the authority. According to the NAPTIP Director General Fatima Wazir Azi, the increasing cases of human trafficking in the nation prompted NAPTIP to expand its operational structures in the country through collaboration with other agencies to ensure diligent investigation and prosecution of cases by the establishment of task force on human trafficking.
Every state in Nigeria is affected by human trafficking, even though trends and patterns and proportionality may differ.
Political will is very important, and this is what we're seeing now in Yobe State, and we're seeing that there is also an openness to coordinate on, bringing up sustainable solutions to the population of Yobe State.
Governor Mai Malabuni, who was represented by the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Barrister Saleh Samanja, who is to serve as the chairman of the task force team on human trafficking, assured to use his experience on judicial practice to remain a willing and committed partner.
Yobe State being one of the states that is currently being on the radar for human trafficking, I think we have a lot to do.
NAPTIP is a multidisciplinary crime-fighting agency and Nigeria's focal institution to fight the scourge of trafficking in person in the country. In Damaturu, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
And that will be it for now from Maiduguri. I'm sure Ruth in Abuja is ready to continue from there.
Thank you very much, Abubakar. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, says the armed forces remains dedicated to ensuring democracy thrives and prepared to combat threats undermining peace and unity. The first correspondent, Ismail Musa, reports that the Chief of Defense Staff stressed this while receiving the Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru Abubakar, and Minister of State for Defense, Bello Mohammed Matawali, on a working visit to the Armed Forces Complex in Abuja.
It's the maiden visit to the Armed Forces Complex by the Ministers of Defense. The expectations are high as the ministers start their engagement at the Defense Headquarters.
We can see your determination, dedication, commitment to ensuring that the armed forces properly equipped.
He also highlights the requirement to further enhance the military in the face of evolving security challenges.
The signing of the new harmonized terms and conditions of service, issues of accommodation for personnel. I think that's one important thing. Robust and modernization equipment of the armed forces of Nigeria that I know we have taken up even with Mr. President. We want to say thank you.
You have done fantastically well. The Minister of Defense conveys the goodwill of the President as well as the task before the military.
I'm sure for all our requirements, be it equipment, be it accommodation for personnel, and all what you have said, I'm sure the President will do it.
At the Nigerian Army Headquarters, the ministers acknowledged the military's effort and success recorded.
Nobody cares even to help or maybe to appreciate what the Nigerian Army is doing. So please, the two of our ministers, we should continue the good job that you are doing.
We are glad that through your intervention, we have started observing visible interventions from the federal government, other ministries, departments, and agencies, and these have positively impacted on our operations in the field.
The visit is meant to spur the military and appraise ongoing operations. Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Sports Update is next.
President of the Nigerian Olympic Committee, Habu Gumel, says the NOC will work together with the leadership of the Ministry of Sports Development to ensure that necessary machinery needed for Team Nigerian athletes are provided to compete clean at the Paris 2024 Games. These were some of the resolves of the committee leadership when they interacted with the sports minister in Abuja Tuesday.
The best way we can do to encourage and to say, to appreciate this move is made is in terms of how we work within the sporting ecosystem.
To volleyball, as the 2023 Taraba State Inter-Local Government and Clubs Beach Volleyball Championship kickstart at the Jolly Nyame Stadium, Jalingo, Simon Danladi reports that the event is a prelude to the National Beach Volleyball Tour scheduled to hold at the stadium.
We are hosting the National Beach Tournament here, which is starting on the 26th. So we're trying to see if we can get players that will represent us in the National Beach Championship, because we are having Olympians coming to Taraba State. People that have gone to World Beach Championships are coming to Taraba State from on Thursday. So they will all be here, this very particular field.
In football, Arsenal on Tuesday in the UEFA Champions League secured a 2-1 away win at Sevilla as Real Madrid beat Sporting Braga 2-1 away from home, while Inter Milan secured a 2-1 home win over Salzburg. Manchester United recorded a 1-0 win over Copenhagen at Old Trafford. Meanwhile, in the Wednesday fixtures, PSG will host AC Milan, Barcelona will lock horns against Shakhtar Donetsk at the Olympic Stadium, while Manchester City will travel away from home to square up with Young Boys. For Sports Update, Bright Ebuchu, NTA News.
We're done. Thank you very much for your company. Do have a beautiful evening. I'm Ruth Aguele. Bye.